Hi, I'm Lori Grunin, Senior Editor for CNET, and this is the Panasonic Lumix DMC FZ35. A better than average megazoom choice, the FZ35 delivers standout video capabilities and an excellent manual feature set. Still, it suffers from a lot of the same drawbacks as its competitors, including weak photo quality. On the small and light side for a typical megazoom, the camera still feels a little plasticky, but it's comfortable to grip and shoot. Rather than participate in the lens spec wars, Panasonic sticks with its tried and true 18x zoom lens, a model that goes back several generations, and because it starts at 27mm equivalent, remains more than an adequate range for the general purpose shooter. For an 18x zoom camera, the FZ35 is relatively compact. Since it doesn't take AA batteries, the grip is a bit smaller than its competitors, but the camera is still comfortable to hold. I'm not crazy about the feel of the focus and the AF buttons. They don't register presses consistently, and you generally have to hold them down a bit too long. The drawback to having a switch for playback mode is that you can't simply press the shutter button to get out of it, which I find an annoying break in my shooting rhythm. However, on the FZ35 you can program the function button to perform this. Your other function button choices are ISO sensitivity, white balance, metering, AF mode, or intelligent exposure mode. While I like the dedicated movie record button, there's a ridge around it that makes pressing it a bit difficult. And although the quick menu joystick works well for navigation, having both it and the four-way nav buttons seem like overkill. In addition to the typical set of modes, program, aperture and shutter priority, manual, preset scene program, and an intelligent auto, the FZ35 provides a very robust movie mode with manual controls and the ability to save 3 groups of custom settings. While that's one more set than on its predecessor, the FZ28, Panasonic had to cram them all into a single dial slot to make room for the other features. The company updated its Mega OIS image stabilizer to Power OIS image stabilizer, which is optimized for low-frequency handshake. It works very well, producing solid images even when I could visibly see my hands were shaking through the viewfinder. While it's faster in some ways than the FZ28, the camera's low-light AF is still a bit sluggish. The EVF, like the FZ28s before it, also suffers from slow refresh in low light, as does the LCD. If you plan to print without cropping or retouching, or only shoot RAW, you'll be able to get some excellent low ISO sensitivity photos from the camera. Color and exposure are generally good, and the lens is solid for a megazoom, with decent center sharpness and only moderate fringing. That said, the FZ35 does have 2 weaknesses when it comes to photo quality. The same weaknesses that plague all other models in this category: JPEG compression artifacts and poor blue channel processing, even at low ISO sensitivities such as ISO 100. Though the FZ28 supported 720p movie capture, the FZ35 updates it to use the more efficient AVC HD Lite codec, which also supports stereo sound. And the camera has a nice large stereo mic. So while it's not bad for a megazoom, keep in mind the limitations of this entire class of camera. I'm Lori Grunin, and this is the Panasonic Lumix DMC FZ35.